Good morning everyone, welcome to my video number 10. Okay, let's carry on where we left off. I have done my homework and I've stitched this piece and I've attached it there with a little gap in behind that maybe a little tuck for something small could slide in there like so. So that's in position. So just moving on through the journal, I stitched in this little signature, so that's done. And before I turned on the camera, I went through and attached some more of this calico in all of the spots where there's a little journal. So I sort of don't want to flip and flop this around too much because I probably should technically let it all dry and then film. But I think it'll be all right if I don't move it all too much and just sort of let it sit there and sort of try and sneak around a bit, doing a little bit more embellishing. I think we'll be fine. Okay, so let's have a little look here and see what we can do. I've got all my bits. Might just add some decorative paper to that corner. Do that. Some pretty designs. Oh. Just a little decorative piece there. I'll just tear that down a fraction more. Or will we make a little tab fold over? Yeah, let's do that. This is going to create just a little feature, and it's also going to help me turn the page, like a little indication to the hands. I wonder if it needs to be that big. Probably doesn't. Let's cut that down by half. It's probably a little bit big, but I just like the paper so much that I find that it's a big piece because of the paper. So I'm just going to create a little tab there. Lovely. Okay, so we've got a plain spot here. Let's add in, whoops, gosh, I can't see for looking. How come the workspace has started encroaching already on my actual space to work? It's amazing how quickly that happens. What else are we going to put in here? I think I'll just put that pop of colour there. That's so pretty. Oh, goodness me. You'll be sick of me saying that's so pretty, that's so pretty. Where's my pencil? I should put my phone on silent because you just know. I sent a heap of my friends a listing that I saw for sale on Facebook Marketplace, and it's an Oreo biscuit. Yes, an Oreo biscuit. Someone has listed it, and they've obviously had a pack of Oreos, and in the production of the biscuit, one of the biscuit sides, because it's, if you don't know what an Oreo is, it's a small biscuit with icing in the middle. It's nothing, you know, extraordinary. But when they've made it, because the biscuit has printed one side a design with the word Oreo, and of course the other side is plainish because that's where the icing would join the two of the biscuits together. Well, someone's obviously found one in a pack that the side of it is wrong. So the production has made it the wrong way. So now they've got a biscuit that it says Oreo one side, and when you turn it over, it's just a plain biscuit because it's upside down. So they've gone to Marketplace on Facebook and listed it for sale and said how rare it was. This Oreo's extremely rare, and they've listed it for $20,000. So they're obviously being funny. I'm just getting my glue book. Finally found myself another glue book. Yeah, they've listed it for $20,000, so I thought that was just hilarious. Sooner or later that'll pop up on the local news and he'll get an interview for sure, just as a fill story, as they do when they're looking for some light-hearted entertainment. So I sent that to a few of my mates that have got a similar warped sense of humour as me. So the phone's been pinging, so I thought I'd better turn it off because you'll be hearing my phone. Let me just bring that back in here. So I'm just tipping in this piece of paper to hide the white. Did I mention I like these papers? Goodness me. Lovely. Okay, we have a plain piece of fabric, a plain piece of paper there. This is a good spot for a little paper trim. I wonder if we can get the other piece on here. I would say so. And then we'll wrap some fabric around that flip. So let's do that. You'll probably notice that my videos at the moment are coming out Monday to Friday and you're not getting a video on the weekend. I do apologise. I've become a very busy girl. Lots of things happening in my real world. I suspected that as Christmas got a little closer, my business would start consuming me. So, yeah, bear with me. There might be some weeks where you get weekend videos, but then there'll be definitely weeks where I just don't even get into my room because I've gone straight to my laptop and I might be quoting a project for someone for Christmas decorating, or lately I've been making things for customers. There's been quite a few companies that have decided to get in early and get their pieces made so that when Christmas comes, they're ready just to pop them straight up. So yeah, I've been busy just sort of helping the staff quote those types of jobs. Whoops, can't see my edge. Move that a bit closer, Corrine. Yeah, so I've been busy with the business. I hope that doesn't cramp my style in my craft room too much. It shouldn't do, but I'm thinking that the weekends might get less attention from videos, but we'll see. It might be a bit sporadic, so bear with me. This part of the year gets a bit silly. If I can get a few good days in my craft room and, you know, film ahead, which is I tend to like to do. It is a bit of my style now, I think, is I'll have, you know, 3 days solid in the craft room, film a heap of videos, then I've got a series ready for you guys, and that takes the pressure off me. And I can then, you know, get back in the craft room and I'm a week ahead, which always sort of helps a little bit. Okay, so we've got that. I wonder if I put a tab on there. Where's those little... No. tabs get to that I had slid into there? Why can't I see them? There they are. I'm going to use another one of those, I think. So these are all pre-backed with the paper just to make them a little bit stronger. Fold them in half. So if you don't have one of those punches, these are great. They're from My Porch Prints. I think I've mentioned that. And they're fantastic. Once they're backed and trimmed, you've got a fantastic proportioned little tab. I really like them. So I've caused quite a debate about art glitter glue being a little bit nasty for our bodies. And we've had some ladies confirm that, yeah, it is. It's not the best for us. So just keep that in mind if you are concerned about, you know, glues getting into your body. Art glitter glue isn't the best. And I know I have one habit of putting the little needle in my lips while I'm holding it. You know, you pick it up, pop it in your lips. So not a good habit. There's definitely no warning on it that we can see, but there used to be a warning. Whether they've changed the ingredients, I don't know, but just a bit of a heads up that we suspect that it's probably not the best. Now, let's look for fabric that's going to go down there and down into there. Sort of feel like I want a bit of a contrast. Let's have a look at this one. Yeah, if I cut that way, I'll get those little birds without chopping little birds' heads off. Yeah, I think I will use this. Okay. Strawberry Thief, this piece of fabric's called, which is interesting. Okay, so let's just slide that out of the way. I might just rule a line because I want it reasonably straight, and I can't tear this fabric. It's just not gonna rip. So I'm just gonna draw a line. Why make it harder than it needs to be, I say. Okay, is that big enough? That's pretty close. Okay, bring the journal back. I won't do any slow stitch on this little piece. I'm just going to use it as a page edge. It's such a busy little print that it looks pretty. Or maybe I should. Yeah, maybe I should. Why not? Let me just trim that a fraction more. And then I'm going to grab... Oh, I don't think I have my needle handy. It's in the other room. Bugger. Bugger, bugger, bugger. Oh, I'd have a needle here. Let's have a look in my little... I'm sure there'd be a needle in my needle book. I need a fairly big eye. Oh, they're tiny needles. Goodness me. That'll be painful to stitch with. But anyway, I think I'm going to have a little stitch. I feel like a little stitch. At least it's not having me muck around with the journal too much, because like I said, I put a strip of calico where all the little journal pages are going to be stitched in. So it really needs to sit and dry. So let's just move the journal out of the way. So what my plan is I'm just going to do a running stitch all the way around this edge. So if you find that this might be a little bit boring, maybe skip ahead 5 minutes. It shouldn't take me too long. Be better if I had a bigger needle. Doesn't matter. Just a straight running stitch using the edge of my fabric. I'm probably about 1/4 inch in, and it's just a little detail, fiddly little detail. I really enjoy stitching paper too. It's a lot of fun. I like the effect it gives. Should do a little bit of that too. There we go. Gone quiet because I'm concentrating. Oh, I so would like to do a slow stitch piece with this. I don't know what design I do because the fabrics are so gorgeous. Maybe I just do a collage of fabrics just to, you know, get a snippet of them all down somewhere. So if I use them and then they're gone forever, at least I can flip through my needle book, my journals of stitchery and see, you know, the William Morris fabrics. Come on. Gosh, it's hard with a little needle. Oh. There's just nothing to grab onto. Okay. I shouldn't go too far ahead there with that needle because it's not big. Now I've got a knot. Goodness sakes. Just when you start to rush, take your time. Make it fine. Okay, we're on the home straight. Hope I'm on camera. Looks okay, yeah. You could spend hours embellishing a journal like this when you're bringing stitching into it. Hours and hours. Probably not good for people who sell journals because that's just commercially you're just not viable. But for your own journal, popping some stitched elements through is just lovely. Maybe if you were selling journals, you could stitch a couple little spots and then leave it at that, and then whoever got the journal would see your decorative element, and then away they go. I think that's half of journal making. You want to leave a lot for them to do themselves. So I believe you should be doing different things throughout, giving people, you know, ideas of what they can do. Keeps it interesting for you as a journal maker too. Otherwise, you'd be feeling like you're a little bit of a mass production. And if that's okay and you like that and you want to just do, you know, sit down and do a heap of pieces and then just attach them, that's fine too. Here we go. That's great. Okay, let's get my glue book back. I don't know how long this series is going to go for, because I feel like I don't get much done in the episode. I know it doesn't matter, like we're just playing and you're probably playing yourself with something, so it doesn't really matter. Some journals come together quite quickly and others just, yeah, they take their time. There we go. Have I got my birds right? Yes, they're up. Lovely. I won't let that dry before I fold it, just so that that fabric, you know, finds its position. Now I've got another flip out page here. Where did that little piece get to? There it is. So we'll use one of those again. Oops. Crooked, crooked, crooked. Goodness me. Oh no. Art glitter glue. Glue's so quick. That's better. That's got it. Put the lid on. Okay. So we'll turn the page. Lovely. So we need a tab or a journal card for in there. So let's have a look in our little tray. That's pretty. That'll just break it up a little bit and bring a little bit of blue. So I might put a different type of top on that journal card. Oh, I've got threads everywhere. Goodness me. Now I'm going to use some calico, but I need this to actually be a lot narrower. So I'm going to tear this down just to get a tiny little bit. We're talking a quarter of an inch. And then I can thread that through there. And it makes a really good little easy tab top. Not too bulky too. That sits really flat. So it's a nice little, especially if you feel like your journal's getting a little bit thick, just gives you something. Now we're in the middle here. What can we do there? I won't do anything on that journal card because it'll get a bit bulky. And then we've got a little cluster of papers there. I wonder if we just put a little patch of fabric there. Just feel like I need a little something. I think better than turning through a page in a journal and then there's this too matchy. Then you come across this little spot where there's some textiles. I haven't used any lace in this yet, and I don't know if I will, to be honest. Just looking through the fabrics to see if there's something there I can pinch a little bit. Might use that gold. Haven't get a little snippet of that. Just a little morsel. Rough up the edges. And then There's my needle and thread. I might just run a stitch through it so it looks like it's got a little hint of slow stitch. Got a tiny little bit of thread left on my needle, so I'm just going to run just a line straight through those pieces, just to make like a little cluster. Now, if I was working lace into this journal, I'd be reaching for that lace as well, but we'll just focus on William, I think. There we go. Just a stitch. That'll hold because I'll be gluing it down, so I won't knot it at the back because it's just adds bulk. Just a little snippet of something. Just smush a bit of glue onto that. Lovely. I'm taking Bandit to his first doggy park today. Love how that rabbit's popping up there. Yes, he has never been on a social puppy date, but just coincidentally, I come across a lady who bought the another male from the litter that Bandit came from, and his name is Bruce. And Bruce and Bandit are going to have a puppy date today, so it'll be fun to see this other dog and what he looks like. And we've been sharing photos constantly, so I know what he looks like, but it'll be really good to see his personality and just see how similar he is or not to Bandit. So it'll be a bit of fun. Looking forward to it. I hope Bandit doesn't disgrace me. He hasn't been in that type of setting before, where Bruce and his puppy dog friends, I'm trying to get a needle out of here. They go to doggy parks all the time. Bruce's mum is actually a vet, so she's also involved in all sorts of activities with her industry. So it's going to be fun to see if Bandit handles a dog park. He's not timid, but he's not a very robust sort of dog. So I hope he goes all right. He should do. I've pretty much got confidence that he won't embarrass me, but yeah, who knows. So I'll have to take some footage of him playing in the dog park for you and pop it on the end of the next video. Because he's getting bigger. Just did a few little dots there. It's probably overthinking it and I didn't need to, but I'll probably feel a bit more confident knowing the paper is, you know, in the right spot. Don't like it to be too bodgy, but no, it can be pretty bodgy. So let's see if I can do this. There's the hole. Oh, I need a sharper needle. That one's the blunt one. And because I don't have holes, I need to create the hole. Just rethreading my wax linen thread. So there's the first hole. That's good. I thing is just to take your time. If you're unsure about stitching in your signatures, just take your time. It can be tricky, but with practice you sort of start to get a feel for it. Now I'm going to actually put a hole through from this side because I don't know where to come from the other side, so I'm just going to make the hole, and then I know that's it, where I am, and now I can come back through that hole. You could measure it and bring the signature out and lay it on the spine and get your points of entry and exit, but if you just push your needle through like you did for your very first hole, you'll find that that will get you out of trouble. So there's my mark there, so through we come. Then it's just a case of getting everything nicely lined up down there so that when you do your final hole, you know that it's going to come out in the right spot, which it did. Now I'm going to come back through the center and all going to plan. Gee, it's fiddly, this journal. Probably should have stitched in the signatures. Before I got too carried away with all this, but it's working. So it's all good. So there's signature number 2 stitched in. I don't know if I'd want to be doing this style of journal all the time. I'm enjoying it, but it's complex. For something that's so simple, it is complex. So it's I think a bit of an advanced style of journal making. So now we've got a little pocket here. So let's close that off. This turned up edge. And then we might just pop a little bit of, I need a scrap of paper big enough. Get the glue, the pin in the glue, Corrine. So I think I need to take a little bit off of this. It's not quite. Better? Yeah. I might actually wrap that around, because then if I take that around the corner, I'll have a decorative piece poking around on the other side. So might as well do two things at once. And I've got a piece of paper here as well that needs something attached. It's just a short little okay, what can we attach to this while we're here? What's in our little box of tricks? Could do with a little journal card. I like that. I think that's going to go on there. Just a little decorative piece. Do I put it at the top or bottom? If that's going to be a pocket, let's put that into there. And let's put a tassel on too. Let's get that in position. And then we can make a decision if that is the right piece to put on that little page. you can bend that around there. That'll bring a little pop of that green. Okay, so what are we going to do with this little guy? What will we do? I sort of feel like there's enough happening there. I sort of feel like I want to put some fabric there just as a little yummy trim. But what benefit is that to anyone really, other than textile? But that's not a bad thing. What other fabric do we have here? These are so bright. There's a few here that just aren't quite suiting what we're doing. What about this one? Yeah, I like that. Oh gosh, they're beautiful. What am I going to do is I'm going to just cut off a piece of fabric. And those daffodils, I'm going to catch the daffodils like a sample of fabric. And I'm going to put a running stitch right through the middle, and I'm just going to attach it like, I don't know why. I just like it. Just some fabric through it. So let's just get our cotton again, and to keep consistency with this little running stitch that we did on that orange piece, I'm going to do some running stitch on this one as well. I know it's adding time to the project, but I really like it. And I like those daffodils. So that's good. I've managed to get those two included. So I'm just going to put a feature right up the center of that fabric and then just glue it on. There's no reason why you can't do that. It's like a sampler of all of his work. So to have little pieces of fabric like this through, I think it's just gorgeous. It is going to add bulk, mind you, but so far the journal's handling a lot of bulk, which surprises me actually. Being that you're starting with an envelope, technically I guess the journal is only as big as the little journal that's within those two envelopes that are creating an alcove for a journal. Does that make sense? Within the concertina, and it sits nicely on top of itself. So it's quite a good little system. Okay. I think what I'll do with some of these series that I've done, like the Edith Holden, I didn't quite get to do a slow stitch piece for it like I wanted, because I got so enthralled in the paper side of it that I don't know, it was in the rhythm of the paper, and it was just didn't seem to lend me to get to the slow stitch. And I think this will be the same, even though I'm doing a little bit more stitching on this one and the Tim Holtz one too. So what I might do is, they are permanent series where, you know, Edith and Tim and this one. So I think what I'll do is I can just pull out this pack of fabric, and I will then just attach a random video that might be a slow stitch project or something else to that whole series. So you might see, you know, 10, 15 episodes for a series, and then I'm technically finished. But then one day, like I've made a journal and there's room for a piece of embroidery to go into it, well, I can just pick it up, create something, and it might be episode 16, where I'm going to just glue that over the top because it was a little bit bigger than it needed to be, but that doesn't matter because I'm loving how that has just peeked over the top. So yeah, I think, because I go through stages where I'm really enjoying paper craft and then I'm back into the needle and thread. I tend to get a bit sore around my wrist area if I do too much embroidery too, and I do a lot of embroidery. So to have paper craft as a second option for recreational activities is really good. So you might find that suddenly a Tim Holtz video will pop back up in that series, and it'll be something new or, you know, a continuation on the theme. So I think that's how I'm going to do it. Otherwise, it won't sort of, they'll be all over the place. And I'd like to keep anything I do Tim Holtz together, anything I do William together. And I can revisit those designers at any stage, you know. That's sort of what I'm thinking. I feel like I need another little yellow piece of fabric over here just to sort of balance this spread. So I'm just, there was a really nice leaf here. I'm just going to cut that off and attach it. Where's my needle and thread? Just to keep a little consistency. I might pop a little bit of calico in there too. Oh, I can't help myself. So yeah, you might think you're at the end of a series, but then wait, up it comes again. Because I sort of, like the other day, I was sitting there thinking about the Edith Holland series, and I'm like, oh, I so enjoyed that. I'm like, I haven't had a chance to have a go at drawing something from nature and using it as an inspiration for a slow stitch piece. But technically the series is finished. But it's not, because I can just add an episode and it'll all sit together in a playlist if you wanted to go back and revisit that whole series. They're all together, and the next activity I do to do with Edith, whatever that may be, goodness, it could be painting a vase, who knows, they'll all be together. It won't be, you know, scattered in the wind of videos. So I think that's what will be my style, I guess, for my channel, that I can create a bookmark, so to speak, of a designer or an idea and then whenever I feel like it, I can pop back and revisit that project in some form. And at least then you'll see, oh yeah, that's right, we did do the Tim Holtz video series. I think that Tim Holtz was 10 episodes. She's back. Episode 11, some embroidery or painting a vase, or who knows. It's a random. And it'd be great to have a heap of video series in my collection of videos as the years go on that are based around a particular designer. That way too, I can just watch the last video I made for the series, which may have been 2 years earlier. And let's say it's William Morris and they bring out a whole new range of fabrics and I pick up a bundle of it. I can say, you know, hello, I'm back. It's been quite some time since we've played with William Morris's artwork, and this is a project connected to that. So I guess if someone finds me in the future, they'll see, you know, 15 episodes of a journal, and then 16th episode is, I don't know, something. So I think that's how I'm going to do it, which I think it'll be good. Like I really want to do a series on Peter Rabbit. So I could do, you know, 5, 6, 7 episodes about Peter Rabbit and making a journal, and then let's say a designer in the future comes out with a whole new kit of Peter Rabbit. I'm just having a sip of my coffee. I can then go to that playlist and say, I'm back, Peter Rabbit. What am I going to put on there? I really like how that comes together. Even though that's a little piece and technically could have something added to it, I sort of like it just as a little feature, and you could still write through there as a journal. Love it. So I got this little one here. What am I going to do here? I don't know. Maybe a little tuck. I sort of feel like that could be a little tuck for something. I don't technically have anything that would tuck in there, mind you, but doesn't mean we can't create it, and they can pop a little something in there, like a little note. So let's close it. Let's find some decorative paper to decorate it. And then we'll go from there. So I need to take off about 1/4 of an inch. I'm probably overthinking my playlist too much, but I'm an organizer, so I think that's why I'm thinking about it. I want to organize my playlist. Did I cut that right? No, I thought it was too big, so I need another little smidgen off. There we go. They look like thistles, these pieces on here. Yeah, lovely. Now, I don't really have anything to go in that pocket don't think so. Everything's a bit big. I wonder if that would fit. Nope. Nope. Oh well. What could we make that is, I'm going to make a itty bitty notebook. Got some paper here that we could use. Let's get a bit of this. Just a cluster of little papers that could be used to decorate pages is what I'm thinking. There's some coffee stained paper scraps. Let's get those ripped down. Okay, so what size do we have to play with? I like that little edge, so we might make that the top. Some little morsels that they can use in the journal. And then maybe we can pop a little fabric. Might make it too bulky, but gee, that'd be nice. Will it slide in with that fabric on there? Yeah, I think it will. Yeah, I like that. Just a little booklet with some little morsels in it. The fabric will protect the top. You could put a staple, you could do, you know, a bit of stitching just to hold all that together. But a little double glue would be fine. Like, it's intended to be pulled apart and used in the journaling process. So if they want to decorate a page, they've got some little scrappy bits that they can use. And I've just popped a little bit of glue. Oh, I'm going to have to stitch it. Consistency. Just looked like it needed a couple little stitches through. Why not? How are we going for time? We're getting along there. So a little itty bitty notebook with a few little stitches. But the stitches, you know, I could have not glued it to and let the stitches hold it all together as well. But this will be very secure now. Not that. Lovely. Okay, one little notebook. Oh, don't tell me it's too big. Goodness me. Oh no, I thought I got it right. That can just sit there as a little tucked in notebook. Lovely. There's all sorts of places you can make little spots for people to, you know, pull out a little notebook. And there's some snippets there that they can use then. It's just, oh, I'm very excited. I managed to buy from Roxy Creations, a nice old book. Oh, I can't wait to see it. It's just so hard to get stuff like that in Australia. We're just not old enough as a nation. And when you do, they're just crazy prices. They're probably priced right for the collection of books. Probably perfectly priced, but for crafters, you know, we can't be paying $200 for a book. That's just crazy. I might put that on there. Sort of was wanting to find a spot for it, and I think that'll be quite pretty. So that little guy's going on there. It's a little journal flip. So I'm very excited. There'll be a parcel on its way with a very old book in it that I can play with. I sort of feel like I need something there. Where's that? Do I use some fabric or do I just tear down a piece of paper? I think I'm going to tear down a piece of paper. So I'm just getting the decal edge on this piece because it's all normal edged paper. And that will help reinforce that piece from pulling away by having that little extra bit of paper there. Plus it provides a bit of a pop of colour as you're flipping through the little journal. That'll really make that strong now. I like art glitter glue for the ease of gluing, but when the corners are not gluing down because you just can't get to, I sort of feel like I need something else on this page. So I'm just going to glue that there. Just as a little, oh goodness me, I feel like I'm all hands. I put this away and I'm going to grab my glue book. It's really a combination of glues you need for journaling. This is good for making sure your piece adheres, but then it's messy. So then you pick up your glue, art glitter glue, and go from there. But then it doesn't glue as well as this. So, but it keeps your fingers clean. I don't know. It's all too hard. Now I might just pop a little decorative element there as well, just to, because we can. Maybe a little label. Yeah. Let's pop that label there. It is big, but I like it. Yeah, that's good. Okay, I suppose I better say goodbye and see you another day as we continue on decorating our little journal. Yeah, I like that. Okay, how are we going for time? Oh yeah, look at that. How quickly an hour goes by. So we've actually got quite a bit done, which is good. I think we started back here, didn't we? Oh, let's fold this. That'll be ready to fold now. Oh yeah. I love it. Nice little pop of colour there. The design worked really well too, because then as you go over, there's the little birds. It's stitched. So where'd we come in? I think we started there. We did quite well. Plus we stitched in the next journal piece. We've got some flipping and flopping happening here. Pops of colour throughout. Just feel like I need something up there. But anyway, I will leave you for now. And we'll leave the book here, and I will see you in the next video. Okay, bye for now.